I've got some good news and some bad news. The bad news is our next speaker for the day decided not to come. He is used to interacting with the audience a lot, and he didn't get that interaction yesterday. He lives very close by the Trident, so if he can hear you, he's promised to come running. So can we hear? Louder, louder, louder. No, that's not going to help. It's all the way at Trident. It's about 2 blocks away. Live Print! Long live Print! Long live louder! Live Print! And louder, once more. Long live Print! Stephen, can you hear us? Long live Print! Long live Print! He can't hear you. Long live Print!
Come on, let's hear it! What are you, chickens out here? Let's hear it. What are we talking about here?
Long live Print!
Come on! Why, you must sound like a little girl, you know? I want to hear boisterous people. People who are proud to be in this industry. I want to hear people who say, yes!
Yes! Yes!
I love print!
I love print!
That's the attitude. All right. Now I can start. All right. I'm going to talk to you about Drupa. Anyone ever hear of it? No. Someone told me at lunch that probably the largest contingent of people outside of the country of Germany who go to Drupa are Indians. You should be very proud of that. So I just want you to know that I think that's a distinguishing characteristic that you should be extremely proud of. So we're going to talk about Drupa, and I'm going to give you my perspective of what I think you should be looking at and seeing at Drupa. All right? Since you've got a lot of people going. Now, you know what the dates are? Just want to make sure. Did you make the reservations? Okay, because rooms are tough to get there. Does anyone like beer?
Yeah.
Best beer in all the world is in Germany. The best beer. Klaus, where are you, Klaus? Make sure you get a couple of pints for me. It's fantastic, all right? And the nice thing is, at the booth, there are steins where you go up to the respective booths and you book your stein in and they'll pour your draft. It's incredible. You know, in the U.S., you know, you got to be so careful about alcoholic control and things like that. Not in Germany. Everyone drinks their beer. When do you start that? When you're 5 or 6 years old drinking beer in Germany? It seems that way. It's incredible. But what they're going to be talking about is how we define the future of print. Now, I sort of told you a little bit about that yesterday, didn't we? You believe me? No. We had 2 gentlemen on the panel earlier who talked about database management and how they're leveraging their business. And they said how they control their respective customers because they control what? Content. Data is part of it, so you were close. So what we're looking at is the future of print is going to be a cornucopia of different ideas and opportunities for all of you, all right? So what we're going to be looking at is Drupa's going to have so many different things for you to be thinking about. You've got to organize yourself well. So my thought process was, how can I help you organize your trip to Drupa? All right? How many of you are planning to go? Oh, wow. That's impressive. Very impressive. All right? So what I'm saying is when you go there, if you consider yourself a cross-media supplier, you're going to have everyone begging to talk to you. Because every vendor that's there understands the new terminology of the world. And the new terminology of the world is cross-media. All right? Everyone understands that. So, but let's look at something. What do we have to be thinking about? Look at the statistics of what's going to be there. Over 1.7 million square feet of display. That's huge. I can't even write that many digits down. Although the gentleman from the healthcare company, he sold his company for a lot of money. His cousin's here. You're his cousin, right? Aren't you his cousin? Can I be your cousin? Oh, I'm adoptable. I heard everything about dynasties here, so I'm up date. Just get me in line, all right? Oh, wait a minute. I told you not to say that word. If he was the big guy, then it'd be fine. So the statistics of what we're looking at in Drupa are overwhelming. It may not be the biggest Drupa that we've experienced, but it's going to be substantial. It's going to be huge. And there's a lot of features that you've got to be looking at to be there. And this is what I really want to highlight. There's the innovation group and there's the cube. All right? The innovation group is, and I don't know how it's being set up this year. Maybe someone knows, but physical layout, because they've changed the layout this year than previous years. There used to be a tent. You know whether it's going to be a tent this year or whatever. There was a tent. Does anyone know? The innovation group was in this huge tent, and all of the cutting-edge technologies were in this tent. Now, there were some people that were at conventional booths as well, but they wanted to get you associated with what was happening there. And it's amazing what you're going to see there. Not all the technologies that you're going to witness at the innovation group are really operational. They're a little bit on the cutting edge, all right? So they may not be viable as you see them, but that's what you got to be looking at. You got to be looking at this innovation park is really where the action is, in my opinion. This is where you're going to see things that will literally blow your mind. And I don't know exactly what you're going to see because nobody who's there is telling you anything. They're just giving you bait. I feel like I'm a mouse. And there's the cheese. All right? And there's the big mouse trap that's right there. And they're trying to bait you, Slap your hand because the trap comes down on you. But we don't know. But make your visit worthwhile. Make sure you go to the Innovation Park, okay? The next one is for your customers. This is geared for buyers. This is something new that they're trying to do. They're trying to say, what are the buyers looking for in the cross-media world? What is their interest level for? Now, you would normally say, well, how does that affect me? All right? What did I tell you yesterday? What was one of the key challenges on my list to you yesterday? Anyone remember? Is anyone awake? Change, yeah, but no. I asked you to do what? Listen to the customer, precisely. So if you go to the cube and you're seeing different technologies that are geared to your customers, what are you going to learn? Excuse me? That's right. You're going to learn what you're going to need to do in order to be a viable supplier to those customers, because this is what they're learning. So if you don't pay attention to technologies that are being marketed to your customers, what's going to happen to you? You're out of business. Plain and simple. So be aware of that. Make sure you go to the cube and understand some of the technologies, all right? Because there were technologies that were demonstrated in previous years. Anyone know what woodwing is? Software woodwing? Yes, what's woodwing? Right, what it does is it takes a PDF file and creates it like a magazine or a book that brings it automatically onto your iPad or any e-device. 5 years ago or 4 years ago, were you concerned about that? No, no one was concerned about it. You didn't even know what an iPad was. It wasn't invented. Now, woodwing is huge. And there are other, you ever hear YouTube? YouTube? I know there's software packages. There's probably about 50 of them there. You've got to be paying attention to software like this, which is going to change the way you do business with your customers. All right. So let's look at it, what we're going to see. We said yesterday that offset's not going away, right? Offset is still here for a long time. But there's a lot of key ingredients to offset. And one of the key ingredients in my mind is how you integrate it with other technologies. How you improve the workflow to make it a seamless integration. Because digital and offset are going to be together. They're going to be siblings in your plant. They're going to be loving each other. Can you love a digital device when you're offset? There may be a love-hate relationship in the beginning, but let me tell you, you need it. You need to embrace it. You need to hug it because they work hand in hand. So what you're looking at is how do we do that? And one of the big things is, you see that API integration? Does anyone know what API stands for? Application. Right, very good. You get an N. Application Programming Interface. That's the key. You know, years ago we heard about JDF and JNF, right? Remember those things? This is JDF, Drupa, all right? You ever hear anything about JDF anymore? Not really, because APIs are really taking the place of it. It's the same technology, really, but it's APIs, which are open architecture. So that's going to be very, very important. And then the last bullet there, and you're going to hear more about this when we invite our panelists up, is that we're going to have offset with inkjet heads on the end of it. Whether they're web presses or sheet-fed presses, we're going to be integrating offset and inkjet together, okay? Very, very significant, and I think you're going to see a lot of that at Drupa. All right, this is a listing of the technologies that I think you are going to see at Drupa, okay? And there's a long list, all right? So I'm going to highlight some of the significant ones because I think they're the important ones, all right? Because those are the ones that are probably more meaningful to you. So everyone can read that, right? So let's go and we'll take a little deeper dive into this. Toner. What's toner? That's the digital that we know of today. That's being used a great deal. And we've got the iGens, we got the Canons, we got the HPs, we got loads of them. And the reason why I put the HP WS6600 on there, because I heard a lot of people talking about they're in the packaging business. Xerox is doing it too now. They just introduced, because we're going to hear, but you already, I was going to let the Xerox guy make the announcement. Why are you trying to bait me here? He's taking my thunder away, you know? I'm sorry. You yell at him. Yeah. So what you're looking at is packaging becomes a very, very important part of the digital arena. Huge. It is a very important part of this. Don't think that offset and flexo or screen are the only ways to handle packaging. They're not. All right? And inkjet's even moving into that in a big way as well. So those are huge things to consider. And these are just some of the people who I think you should try and stop by their booths to see what they're doing in the toner world, okay? There may be more that I missed, but those are the significant players that, in my mind, you should look at. Production inkjet. If there's one area that this is going to, this is going to be it, whatever, 4 years ago, they said that this was the inkjet Drupa, right? It was the inkjet Drupa. Now they're saying this is the inkjet Drupa 2. What are we doing here, all right? Can't you think of something more creative? Inkjet 2. Do a little twist or something. Do something about it. But the point is that inkjet is even maturing even more. And these are some of the devices that you'll probably see at the show. It's a huge, huge offering. It's becoming more significant every day. And if there's any potential piece of equipment to replace offset as we know it today, it's production inkjet. And they're getting wider and faster every single day. And you're going to see at Drupa sheet fed as well as web rolls feeding these pieces of equipment. It's huge. That's what the marketplace is all about. And these are some of the manufacturers that you will see there. Now, I don't know what they're going to be presenting, but there's a couple on here that are a little interesting. You see that one Delphax Memjet? Don't know what they're going to be doing because they haven't really made a release about it. But Memjet is an inkjet head manufacturer and Delphax is an engine manufacturer. So we're going to see a combination there of the two technologies coming together that could be very provocative. Don't know just yet. Keep your eyes open because I think that's going to be an interesting one. The other one is KBA and Donnelly. All right? You know who Donnelly is, don't you? R. Donnelly, that big old company in Chicago, Illinois, that reported an enormous loss for the year. Yeah, they reported their financials and they lost a lot of money. So don't try and emulate R. Donnelly if that's what you're trying to do. But the point is, Donnelly has excellent R&D. So they're partnering with KBA to try and come out with equipment that could really be more universally used, not just by R. Donnelly. And this is something similar that happened many, many years ago, because what did R. Donnelly pioneer many years ago? All right? Where's Charlie? All right? You're in the CTP business. What did Donnelly pioneer with a company called Cytex going way back? It was Creo, but it was Cytex originally. Shimmy? Xerox? No, it's CTP devices. No, it was the automated CTP devices. So Donnelly and Creo Cytex really pioneered that together. So now that they're pioneering with KBA, who's a very large manufacturer of offset presses, could be very interesting. Another little baiting thing for you guys, so take a look at that. All right. Now, I heard the gentleman, is the gentleman still here who was talking about the screen printing guy thing? Yes, okay. I was fascinated by what you said, okay? The problem is, you see that piece of equipment right there? Okay. Screen will be gone, okay? Because it's that's going to replace it. Okay. Grand format is an enormous opportunity that's out there. And I beg you to look at this wide format and grand format equipment. It's an enormous opportunity for you, and there's going to be a load of manufacturers. As a matter of fact, if you'll see, this is some of them, and that's more. All right? If there's probably anything that's going to have an enormous array of manufacturers, you want to see that again? It's going to be the wide format, grand format area. It's going to be incredible. And I said something to you yesterday that I want you to reinforce. If you've got a proofing device that's wide format, please, please start to offer poster work. You're just kissing away money. You're flushing money down the toilet when you've got the equipment right there and you can use it for something else to output. So I'm sorry to take work away from you, but... Oh, okay. All right. This is something else you're going to see at Drupa. The cloud. Oh, the cloud. What is the cloud? It's something you can't see, you can't feel, you can't touch, you can't do anything. It's in the cloud. Ooh, 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 ooh. You know the cloud? Okay. Everything's going to go into the cloud. All of these server farms that you have in your plants that are operating your MIS systems and all this kind of stuff is going to move into the cloud. And what's the advantage of going into the cloud? Space. Cost. You only pay what you use. So you're going to see a lot of companies displaying cloud technology at Drupa. And there's 3 different types of clouds. I'm not going into it here because it's a whole different discussion. There's private clouds, there's hybrid clouds, and there's public clouds. And this is important for you to know. All right? Private it's dedicated to you, very secure. So we heard those gentlemen were talking about doing the security things. If you're doing security work, you really need to have a secure cloud. Hybrid cloud, this is a mixture. And public clouds, it's open to anyone. Security isn't so great there. But it's an enormous opportunity for you to get into areas that you couldn't afford to do before. Because now the infrastructure is being handled by someone else, and all you need is bandwidth to get in and out. That's it. High-speed bandwidth. So these are the 3 types of clouds. All right. Automation software. I think we're going to see a lot more of this at Drupa as well, because automation is about how you can efficiently handle the internal workings of your company. I was recently at a printing plant, and they had an EFI management system. And it doesn't make any difference which one it is, because I know EFI is in India as well. And they've got a whole list of different management systems, the worldwide leader. But it was amazing to me that this company was manually taking the information and writing up a docket the old-fashioned way. I said to them, could you explain to me why you're writing up a docket when you can generate this off of the EFI system? So what do you think their answer was? Anyone want to take a guess? Excuse me? Faster and simpler by hand. No, that wasn't their answer. No, that wasn't their answer either.
Too complicated.
You're going to love this one, all right? I'm going to cut the suspense for you, all right? The woman that wrote up the dockets had been with the company for 25 years. Excuse me? I knew only that. And they couldn't sacrifice her to the world. So I said, all right, maybe I'm stupid, you know, and people do call me stupid, so I just want you to know. Nickname, Stupid Stephen, you know. I said, couldn't we possibly train her and do something else and automate this? Because if you maintain this reality, you're going to be out of business. You can automate these things because what we heard before, everyone's pounding you for price. You've got to automate the process. So that's what you've got to do. You've got to look at these companies to see how you can automate. And when you automate, you've got to look at it that it's MIS and internal workflow that are automating into one seamless system. You can't have individual plant workflows that are killing you. They have to be seamless, working together. So look at these different systems. QR codes. You're going to see QR codes all over Drupa. Every place you go, you're going to see at the booth, there's going to be a QR code for you to shoot. Now, one of the things they're going to be doing, the reason why that is they're going to be collecting data on you. But you're going to see this every place you're at Drupa. So watch and learn from what you're seeing then, because you're going to take that technology and help your customers use it the way you're seeing it at Drupa. Someone mentioned RFIDs yesterday to me. I said, hold off! Right? Where's that gentleman that asked about RFIDs yesterday? Is he here today? Where are you? Okay. You asked about RFIDs. You feel better that I'm telling you about it now? They're going to be there. All right? RFIDs are going to be there because they're a mainstay and they're still growing. But they're changing because now the inkjet technology is helping to make it more efficient and how you can lay down, because it used to be screen that really required it. Now inkjet's going to make it so you can do it with inkjet. Very interesting. But RFIDs are not going away, and I heard someone say that Walmart is coming into India. If Walmart comes into India, anyone who's a supplier to Walmart must use RFID in all their packaging. That's a mandate of Walmart worldwide. So if you understand that, why can't you get on the bandwagon and become a supplier of RFIDs? So watch for that. You're going to see that there. Augmented reality. Anyone know what augmented reality is? What's augmented reality?
Basically, when you interact with the system, with the gestures.
Right. So what it is you can hold up the best one, and I had video, but I couldn't get onto the internet here, so I didn't put it on, and I would only entertain you, and I wanted to entertain you. So what it is you can hold up a box, a Lego box, and let's say there's an airplane that's in the Lego box, and if you hold it up, and you'll see the airplane fully assembled, and the propellers will move and everything like that. It's really cool. Hallmark's been using augmented reality for greeting cards with the Snoopy greeting cards. You have Snoopy here, the Peanuts? Okay. So the greeting cards in the US this past year had augmented reality so that you could hold them up and the Snoopy characters would go around, you know, Linus and everything else. So it's pretty cool stuff. I think it's a fad, but you're going to see augmented reality at Drupa as well. And that's the Lego thing, but I can't show you the video since I don't have the internet. Nanotechnology. This is something you've got to pay attention to. Nanotechnology is going to be a trend-setting technology that's going to change the face of the entire print industry in terms of the internal workings. How many of you know the name Benny Landa? All right, a few of you know that name. How many of you know the Indigo Press? Benny Landa actually was the inventor of the Indigo Press. He then sold it to HP. Benny is